When you're solving inequalities, it's usually like how you would solve an equation when you have an equal sign. However, there's one really important difference, and I want to get into that in just a second. First thing, I want you guys to remember when you're asked to graph an inequality on the number line, you're going to be using an open circle for one of these symbols or a closed circle for one of these symbols. Then when you're solving, you solve it just like if it were an equation, except if you're multiplying or dividing by a negative number, you need to change the direction of the inequality symbol. And I want to show you what I mean and what that looks like, and also why. For example, check it out. 6 is greater than 4. That's a true inequality statement. That's always the case. This is going to be an example that only uses numbers and no letters, so you guys can kind of see like what I'm talking about. Let's just say I wanted to multiply both sides by -2. And I'm allowed to do that. I'm allowed to multiply something by a value as long as I do the exact same process on both sides of the inequality symbol. So I'm multiplying by -2. Now I have -12 is bigger than -8. That's not true. +12 is bigger than +8. But when this negative gets involved, things get really tricky. And this is what I'm talking about. I'm going to say it like tons and tons of times. If ever you multiply both sides or divide both sides by a negative value, you need to change the direction of the inequality symbol. I need to change this guy. So instead of saying -12 is greater than -8, I need to say -12 is less than -8. You can see that it used to be an inequality sign like this, but I flipped it around. There's a little swirly to remind you that now it looks like this. That's the most important thing to keep in mind anytime you're solving inequalities, especially if you're going to be multiplying or dividing by a negative value.